Hello, peoples of the internet. This is me, and this is a person. So, I did that one tutorial last week. I don't know how helpful that was, but I figured that I'd do something a bit more helpful that more people would probably find useful at least, and that is drawing humans. So we are drawing humans, or at least I'm trying to show you how I usually do it. So, beforehand I went ahead and I prepped a little images, the image thing, and I drew out the basic shapes I usually use when trying to draw humans. So here's how I usually do it, and you don't have to follow this exactly. You can change it up however you want. I encourage you to come up with your own way of drawing people, because chances are another person's way of drawing people isn't the same way you like to do it. This is just like a concept or whatever to build off of. A lot of helpful advice, hopefully helpful. Yeah, that's a bit better. So like, let's start with the head and circles. Yeah, they're one of the most basic parts of a drawing, and like, it doesn't even have to be that good of a circle. As long as it's round enough like this, then yeah, you're probably good. But there's a couple ways we could take this from here. There's sometimes, like, it depends on where you want the face to face. Like, let's say you want the face to be facing to the side, like profile view, then I recommend just skipping the guidelines altogether and going for this, like the way you want it to face. Maybe I should do a separate tutorial just for that, but I don't know. Oh, but like, here's what I've done more lately, which I kind of like doing more. Let me just pick out another color here. So, like, what way do you want the face to face? Like, I don't want it to face like just in front, flat front view or like a side profile view. I want to go for something kind of in the middle. So, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start making a line, and this line is where you want the center of the face to be. Let me just adjust that a bit. And then you're gonna make another line around where the base of the circle is, most likely, and then you're gonna do another line where the eyes and such will be. You can do this a completely different way, like I do. It'll take me like 30 tries to get this right. But yeah, I just like to go pretty simplistic, so. Okay, and then I do the bottom part for the rest of the face. The circle bit is like where everything just below of the eyes and up will be. And the triangle part usually is for the jaw and such. And like, again, I don't know if this is really recommended, but it's what I do. I usually like to play around with the shape of the face at this point. Just try to get something I'm comfortable with. This can take a lot of playing around.
Like, the face has a sort of triangle-ish shape to it. Yeah, I'd say that looks alright, though. Let's just make this a bit less prominent up here. If you're like me, you're going to be playing around a lot until you get something that you really like. You know what?
Yeah, that's alright. That's our face shape, I guess. Kind of corresponds some with this, and I also like to do this little notch around where the eye it would be. Like, I do a lot of stuff in like 3/4 view. That's what you'd call this. And I don't know. I just developed a liking to doing this little notch here on the side of the eye because it's kind of accurate to what you normally see. Like, bam, notch. But yeah. While we're at this step, I'm gonna just go over briefly how you do this part of the face here, the side view. So like, it's a bit of a different beast here. Okay, and this is just my very basic way of doing it. So like, right here, where this little notch is right here, you're gonna start making the nose however you want to make the nose. With guys, I've noticed that a lot more pronounced, sharper, or at least that's how I do it. That goes for like all the facial features, but like for girls, like for guys, I make the chin a little bit more. For guys, I make the chin a little bit more defined, but for girls, I don't know. I just go with something a bit rounder.
And then
well, we got a very basic head shape. And like the eyes will go right here, lip right there. Hey, that's looking like a face already. You know, let's just get back to this example right here. Next, you would do the neck, or at least that's what I would do. And I, as you can see, I have guidelines for literally every freaking else here. But I don't have guidelines for the neck, so yeah. That's why I don't feel completely qualified for this. But like, usually I'd start with like the shoulders where I think they should go. And like for the shoulders, I do 2 balls. Try not to make them too small because like you want that to be about the width of your arm. And like this outer part here will be the curve of the shoulder. Same with this one. I try to imagine like a little imaginary line between the 2 shoulders. I mean, I usually don't draw that line, but I imagine it. Why am I still using this color? Then I kind of just eyeball the neck, like so. And this is just something I do because I like doing it for my style. Like, I do a little shoulder blade. Well, not shoulder blade. Like, there's a little line in like collarbone. Yeah. I mean, this isn't exactly what the collarbone looks like, but I think it looks cool and it breaks up some space, so whatever. And then just curve the neck into there. And for this one, I'm just gonna not go with that since it's a different position. As for this, let's go into where I do a lot more structure and such. So like I don't do the chest as pronounced for guys, but just start with this. This isn't just a representative of where the chest is. It's also the upper back, kind of. Like you can kind of split the human body into 2 sections like I did there. But usually I'd have a bit like just a bit more halfway. Jeez, that's very freaking wobbly. Okay, I would do one of 2 different things. If this was like beefier guy, I just do like that, not that much of a difference here. Or like if this was a girl, I'd probably just curve inward a bit. I don't know, I have a weird way of doing it. I was like slightly hourglassy, but also not. And here is like where the hips and such will be, this line right here. And boom, that's a torso. Cool. And then like for here, we first just a little line for where you'd think the crotch would be. Okay. And like, you know, we don't need that. Just a very freaking basic line for where you think the underwear and stuff would be. I don't know, just helps to make sure that your legs don't look so freaking weird. But then we have like where you'd want the knees and such to go. Where do I want the knees to go? Here?
One could be there. One could be there.
And just draw 2 lines to where the legs will be in this non-existent underwear. And then we have the feet, and like where the heels would be, I make another circle where the ankle and the heel would be, and then another circle. Wait, first I usually do the line first. Ah, dang it, not that straight. And then I try to make the 2 lines similarly sized. You can't see this, but I'm kind of measuring it out with my finger. But yeah, that looks about the right size. Another heel. And then for the feet, I just do these weird shapes, kind of like that. But I try to sort of mush them a little bit for whenever, yeah, like that. Whenever I'm actually drawing them on a person. And like these shapes kind of flexible too, like they are not just flat sometimes, but like if I'm having someone standing, like how I'm pointing with this guy with one with his heel kind of up, then hey, you can do that. And yeah, bam, that's another foot. Also, I don't even know what I'm doing with this pose. It'll probably look silly, but who the fridge cares? It's an example. But then for the hands, I like to go ahead and do the hands before I do the elbows and such, so that like make the elbows sort of just come in line with everything else. It's a bit weird to explain. But like, I do a shape kind of like that for my hands, kind of like a trapezoid, where up here will be the fingers, over here we have a thumb, and bam, that's the wrist and such. You know, let me just make this curve in a little bit more. And then we do this elbow here, try to find an appropriate place for it. I'd say about here is good. And then just boop, boop, elbow. And let's do the same for the other hand. We could have this one on the hip.
Put the elbow right here.
Also, by the way, I'd spend like a much more time refining this entire thing because I'm a perfectionist. If this were like me just drawing in my room or whatever, this feels kind of weird. You know, let's make this arm a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'd say that looks alright. Wait, let me just deselect. But yeah, you're gonna have to do some adjusting probably. You know what? If I need to do another tutorial for the side, then I will. Because this ain't looking too hot. I'll cover more of this in a future video probably. Hopefully, maybe. But like for the rest of this, right, let's just move up to a new layer. Bit darker of a color. No, wait, first there's one more thing we need to do here. Thumb circle. Burp and burp. Because I have a little circle for where the thumb will be. But yeah, let's move on to the next phase, I guess. Let's start with the torso here. You'd want it to curve inwards just a bit, and then out a little bit. And you don't have to make this perfect, because keep in mind, all of this is going to be covered up by clothes. Probably. And this will curve in a bit since, well, it's the back right here. And over here for the arms, this is just how I personally like to do it. You could do like little stick arms if you want, but that's not exactly what I like to do. See, like where I have this circle here, or we kind of start from there.
Switching up. Start from there. Have a little bit of a curve that comes down to shorn at the wrist.
Okay, my pen totally didn't just style me for a moment, but like curve inward again at the wrist. Jeez, this is like really hard for me to do digitally. It's a lot easier and natural for me traditionally.
Like straightish line there. Still doesn't look too hot. Sorry, excuse me while I be a perfectionist.
I have this one thing I like to do where I basically just keep on going inward until I get a shape on the inside that looks like something I like, and then erase all the excess on the outside. But now, like, let's just do this little fake-ish collarbone. Then I normally do straight lines that kind of go inward a bit from here. And see, this is the width of the arm. Same with the other side, though I'd start from here and here.
There's one on here. There's one side. And then there's the other side.
And let's do the legs down here real quick. Straightish line up here. We got another straight line right here. Though it'd kind of go inwards a bit at the ankle. And like from down here, there'd be a bit of a lump for the thigh. No, not thigh. Calf, whatever. Jeez, this would go like 10 times better if I was doing it digitally, but whatever. Okay, there. That's a good line. Like, start from here and just...
And flip.
You know what? Yeah, that looks good. And see, we got it curving downwards, trying to show the calf. And if you want, you can even look at yourself for references. I mean, I do this a lot. Like, I'll take my own reference pictures or just try to mimic what pose my character is doing. It helps me get a feel for it, I guess. Then, bam, leg width. Then we do pretty much the same right here, except with how the leg is, how the leg is kind of positioned slightly different. It'd be a bit different. Like that little curve would be noticed a bit here. Because the leg is turned slightly more towards the front. Be a bit less pronounced behind here. Also, apologies for this. Like, it feels very freaking weird doing this, all this sketching crap digitally, because I normally do it traditionally. And I hate how my lines always come out a bit more wobbly here. But yeah, and there's the lower leg. Just
Flip.
connect that to the upper leg, raise this little bit right here because it's about to get in the way. And so let's do the fingers real quick. Yes, I know everyone hates doing hands, but you need to do it, Jenny, or whatever the fridge your name is. You just has to. You can't hide your character's hands behind your back your whole life. We start with like one dot here in the center of, well, about where the center will be. Then divide that in half again. And again, and then go to whichever finger you'd think would be in the front. I'd say this one would be, like, depends on if you're having the fingers overlap or not. Start out with the bottom of the finger. I kind of eyeball this, but like if you're doing this on a larger scale, it's a lot easier to do hands, and there's more structure you can put into it, like. And I know this isn't anatomically correct, but I usually just have two finger bends. Like here is where the tip of the finger will be, and there's only one bend in between there. That's not how it actually goes for humans, but again, simplicity's sake. Whoa, handsy. But like, let's get back down to here, okay? Okay. And then for the thumb, we just follow this little circle we made here. No, wait, first we'd start with where you'd want the thumb to be, and then the curve for the inside. Then another curve around that. And then straight line because the way your thumb is shaped if you look at it from the side. And then bam, just connected to the wrist here. And here we're going to have the thumb hiding in the back, so just going to have that hiding there. And then we have burp, burp, burp. And then, let's do our finger again. Like, there we go. Okay, there. And then for the feet, I usually don't do the toes actually. I don't have much of a need to. Jeez, this is probably going to be the worst anatomy tutorial ever. I just follow something similar to the trapezoid shapes that I made, but I just curve, and curve. Also, keep a close look at what you're doing, because like this, I just realized how wrong this here looks just to me. Maybe not to you, but to me. But yeah, don't be afraid to make changes as you keep on going along with this. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better. I tend to do the hair, or like I'd find where it was parted or whatever, and then just flip, and then floosh hair from that point. I'm gonna do something a bit more simple, like let's have the hair here. Again, we're trying to imagine this kind of 3D, so this would be like the top of the sphere, kind of. Oh well, let's just do something quick and simple for the hair, because I don't know how long this tutorial is gonna be.
I'm just gonna do something small, some tufts of hair. Here, there, everywhere.
That's just, I don't even know what I did for the hair. But let's get to the face real quick. Actually, no, let's just do some basic clothes first, and then we'll get to the face. Here's what I'd normally do for clothes. Like, we're gonna take this curve here, like generic curve, and we're just gonna turn it a bit out more to the right, since our character's kind of facing this way. And why did I say right? It's left. And let's just put them in a t-shirt. I'd start by doing the sleeves, like where the edge of the sleeve would be. So where that fold would be, just go blurp, blurp. This is like a very basic clothes tutorial. I don't even think I'd be anything near qualified for giving advice on doing clothes. But here's just a quick and simple way of how I do them. I swear the further I go with doing this, the less faith in myself I get. Like, here is where our fold would be, along with the edge of the shirt. Let's just do shorts, I guess. Again, very basic. Shorts ain't the point here. But you know what? Let's just get to the face, okay? Okay. So for the face, I'd start out with the eyes right here. We already planned out a little space for them. And I, again, try to imagine this in like 3D space. Let me just... Boop. And... Boop. So let's start with the first eye. And like, I imagine I learned this forever ago. In order to have one eye looking good while the other one also looks good and not like a piece of crap, you do them both at the same time. So like, here's how I normally do the eyes of my style. I start out with something that looks kind of like that. Dang eraser. So like, I'd start out with doing both of the eyes at the same time, doing the top and the bottom bit. This may look weird, but like, this is kind of further back and also behind in the tuft of hair a bit. Though if you were to kind of turn this around towards your front a little bit, then... Jeez, I'm not doing good with this. You'd get something that isn't exactly symmetrical, but, well, still looks good. But now let's just do the sides here. Plop in some eyes here. And then we do the nose, and there are plenty of different ways to do noses. I like to do different ways depending on each character. Like, sometimes I do something like that, though sometimes I go for some a bit rounded. Like, or you could just do a little dot for a nose like anime or what, like some anime styles do or whatever. Like, sometimes I even just kind of turn the nose up just a little bit. Here, let's just... that, I guess. Actually. And then for the mouth, I like to do either just a simple line, or like sometimes I'll have it kind of open and then do something a bit like a triangle. And then I just leave some white space for the teeth. Alright, we need the eyebrows. This looks a bit odd though, don't it? I guess it's because all of this is example stuff that I'm not too worried about looking perfect. But yeah, that's the basics, I guess. And this is all just the sketch. I usually refine everything with the line art. You know what? Hold on. Even just going over these lines and trying to perfect them a bit will help a lot sometimes. Okay, so there's that. I mean, not the prettiest, but it's an example, okay? Okay? But yeah, all these weird pieces forming together and line art over them, and bam, this. And again, that isn't, this way that I do things definitely isn't the best way, and I don't think that everyone in the world should just subtly switch to the way I do things, because, well, people do things differently. People have things that work great for them. So, feel free to experiment, and there are a lot of structures and stuff that you could do that'll make your artwork look a lot better. I mean, what if I just put up some artwork if I could find some stuff that I've made without structures and compare it to some of the stuff I've made with structures? And yeah, you can come up with some great things, but they'll look a lot greater if you put some kind of rule or whatever in your head to them. I hope this is helpful in some way. If it isn't, I am sorry. And I will see you next time, maybe. I don't know. If you want to see some of the other stuff that I've made, then you can check my Twitter or my Instagram. Both of those will be in the description. I'll also have a link to the other tutorials I've made in a playlist that I've started working on since last week. And see ya.